Welcome on another session of Block Chat with Denis Petrovcic and Makram Hani. Today, our session is, as usual, a feedback on the past week, what we've done, all of the news that happened, all of the news that we are preparing for it to happen, as well as some of the updates on what we're doing as a team. And we have some exciting stuff, hopefully, for you. So, Denis, how are you?
Good, doing well. Excited about things happening this week. Last week, we were preparing a lot of things in the background, to make it happen for everybody in the community. Those who follow us regularly know probably what I'm talking about. Those who don't, we will talk about
You
it.
need to follow us to know what we're talking about.
Exactly.
That's me.
Exactly. So so otherwise, a lot of things to do, and the team is growing, and there's more dynamics coming in this day-to-day conversations. I think it's quite interesting times at Blocksquare, and to work in this environment. How are you, by the way?
You on the group, amazing as usual. I've seen comments from you on our group, thanking the environment and thanking the community for how helpful are they with everyone who's coming in, with everyone who's joining us. And I believe that's something major. Andy joined us. Can we talk more about how do we, as a community, how can we as a community help Andy achieve what he's expected to achieve, and because it's to our good as an environment, as a DAO, as a company, as an organization. So how can that happen? You think, Denis?
Well, I think Andy is adding. I mean, he's been part of Blocksquare as a project for a long period of time, and obviously. Some things have changed. He's taking some of Julia's, some of the burden off of Julia, and he's added a lot of quality into our marketing team and approach. And he basically, it's already showing just after a week.
Your voice, I'm not hearing your voice anymore.
You're not? Okay.
Okay, now I can hear you.
All right. That's strange. What I was saying is that that Andy is adding a lot of. What are you pressing?
You know what? I so support the stream and buy a coffee. Please, guys, no one buys us a coffee. The stream is well supported. So, okay.
All right. Good job. So I'm saying that Andy is adding new quality to the team, to the marketing efforts. I think it's already showing after a week or two of him taking over our main Twitter accounts, and I think that's creating value for the community all in all, because it actually creates this this way of communicating with people that is up to the point, and so forth. So it does definitely bring value to it. Plus, Andy has been in Web3 for a long period of time, and he knows a lot of people in the space, making introductions as well. And I think this is great. So the value that Andy adds is definitely much larger than one would imagine. I remember when he first started posting more on Twitter as Cryptovium and posting more information, more educational content, and it started moving things for Blocksquare on Twitter. It started generating more traction there. And definitely his efforts were one of those that then drove other members within the community to start kind of following his actions and his way of doing things. And yeah, I think I mean, Andy is definitely there. Um, I'm really kind of glad to have him on our team. So hopefully we can do Makram a blockchain session once with him in the near future.
Sure, I'm sure we will. I actually was looking at how and what we are doing over the past few days, and I believe that the whole environment, the whole social scene, is moving, is alive, and it's way more alive than it has ever been. The quality of content and the the quantity of content is always also very exciting and important. Um, Last week we talked about telling people more of how would they be able to um, uh, or to stake after they have, for everyone who had BST as rewards or anyone who bought BST on the open market. So anyone who has BST from rewards because they've staked their BSPT, their property tokens, today can stake them on the governance pool or on the liquidity pool. Last time we talked extensively about how to stake on the liquidity pool. Can we talk more about how to stake on the governance pool and what's the benefits behind it? What are the benefits behind
Sure.
doing that?
Sure. So the governance pool is a very simple and low risk way of generating additional revenues from your current BST holdings. So you can look at it as making a deposit on in your bank and then getting some interest on it. Here, it doesn't work with money, but it works with BST. You make a deposit, you earn a percentage yield on that deposit. Right now, I think that pool is benefiting, or participants in that pool are benefiting for 125,000 BST per month. Um, and that's in time expected to be lower. Um, Personally, I actually expect it to go to actually zero in time, because just acquiring governance rights within a protocol like Ocean Point and Blocksquare in general, I think it's valuable enough. And obviously, we will be creating, or there will be reasons for voting to happen. Right now, we have this governance board that's overseeing decisions that relate to BST, but in time, we plan on having full on-chain governance as the ecosystem grows and the number of holders grows, etc.
Cool.
So right now,
Within
it's
within
basically a way to acquire future governance rights, or not lose them in comparison to those who actually do stake in the governance pool. And yeah.
So today we have what is being distributed to, or rewards that are being distributed in which pool. There's the governance pool, there's the liquidity pool, and there's the asset pool. How much
Yes.
rewards are being distributed monthly in each of those pools?
Yeah, so we have those three that you mentioned. And in the governance pool is 100. So all in all, it's always 500,000 BST per month. And it's distributed into different pools. Right now, we have 250,000 BST going into the liquidity pool staking, and then 125K in the governance pool, and another 125K in the asset pool. That asset pool is currently designed just for staking of for the owners of the real estate assets that are being tokenized, and rewarding them for tokenizing them, basically. But with version 04, which is expected beginning of next month, I would say, is the ability for the community to buy real estate tokens and stake them in a new asset pool designed for the community. And there, that will add a new way, and it will create a new redistribution, obviously, of these rewards, because now there's going to be 4 of them. I believe that we won't touch the rewards in the liquidity pool for some time, but redistributing between the governance pool and the current asset pool.
And here
Yeah.
is an opportunity, yeah, because if you look at the amount of tokens that are staked currently in the governance pool, and the amount of distribution happening in the asset pool as well as the liquidity pool, you see the expectation or the opportunity today. That's why it has probably the highest APY between the three pools, because it has less committed to and more distribution. So that's an opportunity that everyone should take. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I mean, that's the core function of these rewards, etc. In the long term is for rewards to actually be acquired from revenues that are generated from the pool of assets that Ocean Point owns, and the rewards coming from there. Right now, they're minted from the appropriated supply of 40 million from the total supply of BST, which is going to be distributed at this 500K rate per month, right? And liquidity is the number one functionality that Ocean Point brings to tokenized real estate. So obviously, providing liquidity through and staking that
Will be the
liquidity
most supported.
it will be the most supported. It should be the most supported, and that takes us to then point tokens in that coming in the future with version 0.5 and the ability to stake point tokens, and that's going to bring new levels of liquidity to tokenized real estate. But now I think we also have a guest today, right?
Exactly.
So
now we have a shout out. We have a shout out to Yo. Yo is our president at Fibre. I'll leave the introduction to Yo to give you a brief about what we're doing there, because you're hearing so much from Denis and myself, and I'm sure you would like to see a face other than ours and hear a voice other than ours. But Denis, would you like to say a few points before I give it on to Yo?
For everybody who's not familiar with Fibre, Fibre is an organization that was co-founded by 7 founding members, I believe, in 2018. So same year as Blocksquare, I would say. And Joe here is one of the co-founders of Fibre. And what Fibre does really well is it connects people that are either from the real estate sector or from the Web3 sector under the same roof. Creates conversations surrounding how to use blockchain technology within the built environment. That means real estate, construction, and other real world assets. Why not? So it's an organization that today has like presence in, I think, 70 different locations worldwide. So all continents are covered. So it's a really interesting network. It has its own community platform where members can kind of create those conversations. And it creates, most importantly, a very informative piece every year, which is the industry report. And I
call
believe
it the most comprehensive report on anything Web3 and real estate that is issued by any organization, government or non-government, profit or non-profit.
I think so.
Yeah.
Personally, I think so. And this, what's more to be highlighted, it's a voluntary endeavor by the members of Fibre. So this is a report that's gathered from within, from on-ground sources. And the first year, it, recorded, I think, more than 500 products that highlighted using block real estate. And now it's, obviously dropped down since the ICO times. But what's more important is that this is done through sponsorships, and Fibre is actively, I think, also looking into potential sponsors for the industry report. Blocksquare has been sponsoring the industry report since I believe the very first year when sponsorships were introduced. So proud to be sponsoring as well the 23 report. But Joe, thanks for coming on Blockchat today. And I think we can leave it to you to maybe tell us a bit more on the industry report, a bit more in depth, and what challenges are there right now in the market, but as well what the opportunities are of collaborating with Fibre. We have many marketplace operators already working with us. Some are still, thinking of whether endeavor in this new market. And Fibre is, I believe, a great opportunity to support their growth and vice versa.
Yep. Well, thanks first of all for the terrific introduction. Thank you very much for the terrific introduction, Denis and Makram, because I think I couldn't say it better than you did, the introduction of Fibre. And like you say, Denis, I'm indeed one of the co-founders. I'm from the Netherlands. If you talk about the real estate, the industry report of Fibre, we started with this industry report as a reference document. Once a year, we want to issue this report in which we can explain to the market what is the status of blockchain in real estate. And we do this by actually divide the report in 3 parts. The first part is we have some in-depth articles. They are written by people from our community. And like you know, our community is the people who are really doing. They are the pioneers in blockchain and real estate and Web3 and real estate, but also the academic researchers who are exploring what is possible and what are the challenges. So every year we have close to 15 articles, and they really highlight the topics from different angles. I think for people who like to understand better how blockchain can be applied and what can be the values, what can be the struggles, it's a one-of-a-kind document to read. The second part in the industry report is about what is the status of market uptake, how far are the markets around the world on digitalization and real estate. Like Denis said, we are present at more than 70 locations. We have regional chairs really all over the world. Altogether, I think we connect a network of more than 10,000 professionals with a background on real estate, on IT, on academic research and government, on legislation, legal advisors. So we have a really wide and expert network of thought leaders all around the world. But what we see is not every country is that far by digitizing the real estate processes. Some regions are front-running, others are lagging behind. And by giving this global overview, we also can see where the uptake of the new technology is going faster than other regions. And then you have the third part, which for me personally was the most interesting. It is the product database. In this product database, we give an overview. What are the products out there in the market that are already applying somehow blockchain technology to facilitate a real estate or construction process? And like Denis said, in the old days of Fibre, 2018, when the market was very much into a hype, we saw more than 500 products. And first we saw a decline a few years. But what we see since last year is that it's slowly increasing again. So if you compare this with the Gartner hype cycle, I think we literally went through the trough of disillusionment. And that all in one report. I think 150 pages of really unique content on this niche market. Well, by doing this, we create a lot of value. And last year, we decided to change the revenue model for Fibre. We had the COVID period, and it was more difficult to get in personal touch with companies. So we set this industry report, we bring it in PDF format, a static format. We want to make it more engaging and more attractive for sponsors. So this year, for the first time, we will issue this in a web-based, a dynamic way, where we not only have the different articles that can be tagged and that we can also spread individually via our social media, but also where we can connect it to different sponsors and where we can offer sponsors new ways to promote themselves and connect them with our industry report. I think what we showed as Fibre in the last years is that despite of the hype and the high expectations in the market, we always try to be realistic and neutral. And we didn't want to overemphasize, but just show where the market is. Also show that there's a decline, that it's difficult to get the first traction in the market. And by having done this the last years, I think Fibre created a very reliable, trustworthy image. And that's the benefit that we create now with bringing this industry report to a more attractive way to a wider audience. I think we would like to also get in touch with companies who are active or who like to be in the spotlight of blockchain, Web3, and real estate. If you think you are such a company, if you would like to know more about this industry report, you see the QR code. Please take a look. And I would only invite you to connect with us and see how we can create value together. Join the community. Fibre is voluntary, so everybody is welcome to participate and to share his vision, like Makram and Denis are doing for quite some years. Everybody is welcome there. So what more can I say, Denis and Makram, about this?
Actually, I believe you've said so much about what we're doing. It's very important for us to say, guys, we're a dynamic environment, we're a community that is formed of professionals or volunteers. And what we really care about are few things. First, educating ourselves and everyone around us. And by educating here, we mean each of us has endeavors in his own aspect, in his own country, in his own locality. We are currently sitting in 3 countries, and our board meeting was half an hour ago, and there was people from probably from every continent, most probably. So what, maybe Australia, there is no representative of Australia there probably, so we by spirit we have Australians there, we're all Australians. So the whole idea is that, guys, what we want to make sure we do is we collaborate on bringing this learning together and putting it in one pot. And one of our programs, for example, is the Ultimate Legislators program, and where we intend to make sure that we bridge knowledge between legislators and others, between NGOs and legislators, between for-profit organizations and legislators. Each in our companies, professions, businesses learn things daily. When you find an environment, a community formed of people who really care about putting all of this knowledge openly in one pot for the betterment of everyone, and where everyone believes that that pot will, at the end of the day, serve all of us, that's amazing. And Fibre represents this. We've done projects together, and we have workforces that probably could not be put together if it wasn't of the spirit of Fibre running through. And here it's an open call probably for everyone to join us, regardless. If you're an individual, you could be a student and you would be able to join us, learn more and teach more. Share with us your learnings, share with us your pains, your challenges. You could be a lawyer, you could be somebody involved in real estate, somebody involved in Web3, somebody involved in investments. As long as you want to obtain knowledge and share knowledge, you're more than welcome with us. Now,
it's very nice that you mentioned this legislator program, because what I think Fibre makes truly unique is the combination of expertise, world-leading expertise we can bring together, not only from people who can research topics, but also who have practice from experience from their own practice. And we already did some consultancy jobs and advisory to several companies and to governments. But what we learned from that is that they really like the combination of expertise that we can bring together. That's even more attractive than what certain universities or certain companies alone can bring. The combination is what makes us really stand out. And this is
one of the things here I mentioned, is the most recent the most recent task force we've done with an organization in Asia in the tokenization working group. And to get those expertise together, sit on one table, it would cost you millions. I am definite, I'm sure. And it's simply not always possible to get all of those expertise from all over the world. We had people from all over the world, top experts in their field. And then we generated a report in an ultimate time. It was few days that probably companies would require ages to generate, and that's major. And this is what we stand for. So if you're a company and would we need help in certain research, certain advisory, please head on to Fibre. First, you will save money because Fibre is not for profit. 1, 2, you will be supporting an organization, sharing the energy, and Fibre will give you the presence within that community. And I'm sure every professional would need the presence within that community. If you're a legislator listening to us, get in touch with us. without any cost. We are happy to pass on all the knowledge we've acquired from all parts of the world, because it's very important that if I'm in Dubai today and I'm talking to the legislator around here, we both share the same experience and the same pot of knowledge. However, if Denis from Ljubljana puts in his pot of knowledge, and then someone else from Brazil, Rubens, puts in his pot of knowledge, and Kevin from the UK puts in his pot of knowledge, and Joe and Akeem and every single person puts in his pot of knowledge, this is where you have diversity of experiences. Because whenever something is breakthrough, technology or learning, it's important to learn from the mistakes of others, because you don't want to do all the mistakes that are there. So the best thing is to look at what are they doing in Portugal, learn from them, and hopefully we didn't mention Christina here. So Christina and all her efforts from Portugal, and we pick those, we pass it on to you, you learn from it, you feed back into us, and then we'll share that with others. And that's the core of ours.
Yeah. And like you told in the introduction, we are a voluntary organization. So the first years, the focus was more on growing global and become the world covering one to go to organization for blockchain, Web3 and real estate. But now we changed our business model. We want to create a more sustainable revenue model. And that's also why we introduced the corporate memberships. And we have sponsorship packages for this industry report. And if you would like to support Fibre as a non-profit voluntary organization, the best way you can help is simply to join the network. For 500 euros, you can have a corporate membership. And then 5 of your colleagues can register for the online platform in which they can get in contact with all those professionals all over the world. And by sharing your knowledge, not only receiving, but also sharing your knowledge and your vision, you help to create this unique place where all that expertise comes together. And also if there are requests coming in from the network, from governments, from private companies, where we can easily then connect you to be on the solution part for the request. And by doing that, you help us to create a sustainable business model, and we can help you to create more revenue with your products. So a win-win for both. And take a look and join us.
Here, let's not forget that, guys, you can join for free. Join the network for free, or you can be a paying member. If you're a student, you have a very special rate. And if you are part of the universities that we collaborate with, because we have universities that I would like to call them partner organization. They have, we've helped them, they've helped us over the years. And some of them, would you like to mention a few, Yo? Some of them are very respected organizations. All of them are very respected organizations, but some of them
all over
are,
the world.
Exactly. We're the top organizations. So yes, you can join as a student. If you're a corporate member, feel free to join. And here is your opportunity to sponsor one of our events, or one of our coming industry report. And feel free to get in touch also. And you can reach us easily through fibre.org. Denis, yes, sorry.
Yeah, I wanted just to add, for people who are watching from our community at Blocksquare, right? You know, some might not know, but coincidentally, somehow, all 3 of us today here. So not only Joe is not just him from Fibre, but we're all 3 of us are sitting on the board of Fibre. So we're interchanging when we're saying join us, and we're a free network referencing Fibre, obviously, and not, you know, just not to confuse people. But
so look, if you're a Fibre
yeah,
member, join Blocksquare. If you're a Blocksquare community member, join Fibre.
Yeah, but then I also want to say something about Blocksquare, because from Fibre perspective, I think Blocksquare was there for the first moment, and I think you're also one of the pioneers. Like Makram mentioned earlier today, we had the board meeting and we were discussing how can we create more value for the network. And Blocksquare raised some ideas that we are going to elaborate on in the next months and the next weeks. Really some very interesting ideas. And Blocksquare, I think, from the first moment, but also currently one of the biggest sponsors, biggest supporters of what we do at Fibre. So from Fibre hat, I'm wearing a big thank you to Blocksquare, of course.
Well, I think, well, thanks for this, Joe. I mean, we've known each other since years now, right? And I remember when we were sitting in Amsterdam on top of when we first met. It was a rooftop bar. Was it like what's 5 years ago, or maybe even more?
2017 or 2018.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and I remember at the time, that conversation was exactly what Fibre is: sharing knowledge between people that have different experiences, and it's just like on steroids, because it's online. You can
Not
get in
the
touch
people,
with.
guys, the sharing activity. People are
Yeah, but
not the people
yeah,
on steroids, the
yeah,
sharing
but
activity.
the sharing.
but
Yeah,
it is, yeah, but it is
we're,
exactly what
we're
Denis
good
says.
at confusing people, I guess. But yeah, and I'm really proud of what we built throughout the years through Fibre. And as Makram said, there's good and tough times. There's ups and downs in the market, and Fibre, just like Blocksquare, has endured bear markets as well as bull markets as such, and has valuable corporate members, but also valuable people, that contribute on a yearly basis, and keep on pushing it. And that neutrality kind of that Fibre offers is ideal for the exchange of knowledge and information. So I see Fibre as a very valuable player within blockchain and real estate, but as an environment, it could potentially grow into hosting much more diverse corporate members, not just from the real estate focus, but if we broaden into real world assets, which I believe is one of the hot topics or hottest topics in Web3 right now. I think there might be a lot of organizations that would love to learn as well as join an organization as Fibre. And I think
Yeah.
that's kind of something that needs to be highlighted, that Fibre is not just there for real estate cases, but it connects the real world with blockchain.
And if you look Dennis, over the past few days, we were talking about it half an hour ago. Approximately every major institution, banking institution here, I'm saying from Citi to Goldman to all of the guys have issued extensive reports about tokenization of real world assets over the past month at least, and really comprehensive ones, which we enjoyed looking through and reading through. And here is something very important that Dennis hinted on, and it's really important. Guys, when we are starting up in a breakthrough technology environment, there's no competitors. Actually, the only way you can survive and thrive is if your competitor survives and thrives. And at Fibre, you'll see competitors supposedly in the same environment working towards the same role. And that's very important.
Yeah. I sometimes call it that all those competitors, they have their product and they want to bring this product to the market. But the market itself needs to be developed. And I think the contribution Fibre can do is help to shape the market. If you focus on bringing your product to the market, we help you to create the market and get it better understood. And I think that we create a win-win together.
Yo, thank you so much for joining us today. Actually, it
Yeah.
wasn't planned, guys. We just came up with it a half an hour ago. It's so valuable having you here. We need two promises. One is we need Kevin, by the way, on one of the block chats.
You have to ask
We
him.
need,
I cannot promise that.
yeah, we need you remember the forcing thing that we were talking about. So we need Kevin, and we need you to promise, please, that you will join us on a block chat. So that we can discuss the general industry, and I'm sure there's much value and knowledge there that can be put through.
Sure, I will be there.
Thank you so much for joining us, Yo.
Thank you for having some time for me. Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
For everyone else, Denis is there anything else you would like to tell our community prior to us going to closing here?
Well, there's this topic, right, that we discussed or we talked we will be discussing today, right? There's this topic that people within our community, what's this Fibre doing, QR code doing here? Okay, so you're pushing QR codes today. You love to do it, like you found a new
What
button, right?
idea?
And then now you're just doing it. And by the way, where did you go? I want you back. I want you on
Okay.
the blockchain. You're gonna use the phone after. I'm forcing you, right? That's the forcing part. Now, so the topic that everybody from our community maybe wants us to talk about today, and we haven't touched upon it yet, is something that happened and was announced a couple of days ago, on the 19th of April. And it's a campaign that we started a bit before that, on the listing on a centralized exchange, a very interesting up and coming centralized exchange. It's already between the top 20, I believe, named and called Mexc. And this listing is happening for BST, is the first centralized exchange listing, and I believe this is a major step towards BST adoption and growth for us. The listing itself is happening on the 24th, so at, I believe, 10 a.m. UTC, and I invite all our community to basically look into it and see if if that exchange environment is suitable for them to trade without incurring gas costs that otherwise are present on decentralized exchanges like Uniswap. I believe this is like something that is more interesting to people that are more frequent traders, I would say, or they're more into actual trading than buying and holding.
Or those who would like to, actually, here I'm trying to add it on our screen, but I'm not able to for some reason. It's not accepting it from me. So it's probably even for people who want to incrementally buy into the token every month or every week, or
Yeah, I mean, it's I use centralized exchanges as well. I don't hold any funds on centralized exchanges because of past experiences, not direct, but learned through the
me
pains
guy,
of
trust
others,
me.
I would say, of many others. And I think centralized exchanges definitely provide ease of access and ease of execution in terms of trading. In terms of security, that's another question there. What is being done with the funds that you have deposited in exchanges? But I believe the industry is in generally stepping up, especially after the FTX debacle. And new standards and new measures are being put in place for centralized exchanges to thrive, and I hope most will follow suit of the biggest ones and be able to kind of really have secure trading environments for traders and people who just kind of occasionally trade cryptocurrencies. That being said, some might perceive listing on a centralized exchange as one of the biggest highlights. In my view, there's other things that are more important, and one of the things is us sponsoring the Fibre Industry Report for one. Second part is working on several conferences and presence on those conferences in the future, in the near future, basically, and onboarding new marketplace operators, new real estate asset owners to tokenize with us. I think that's kind of our core focus is there, and and that's what we are continuing to do. And the most exciting part for the next couple of weeks for me is version 04 actually. I think this is going to be really a demonstration of driving economics within our ecosystem that are not present right now, and demonstrating on initially a smaller scale um, what Ocean Point is going to create within our whole ecosystem. And this is I think the focus that is there on the minds of the whole team actually. And that's and that's I think the biggest the most exciting part of our journey is yet to come.
However, let's say for those who are excited about a centralized exchange listing, yes, it's coming. You should be happy about it. Talk about it. Check out the exchange, and let's hope that it helps you. Give us your feedback if it's working well for you. Hopefully, you'll be able to get exactly what you wanted out of centralized exchange, because it has been a request since a very long time. Yeah. However, for everyone else also who's interested in the fundamentals of what we're working, version 04 is coming, and coming very fast. Yeah. Actually, as you see, with the prior versions, it was taking us a very long time to launch each version. Yeah. And now it's taking us shorter time between a version and another. So between version 03 and version 04 is much smaller bracket of time, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean the iteration time's a bit slower, no, a bit quicker, I would say, from one to the other, just like you said. But also the amount of work we need to do from one version to the other is not as big, so we're able to iterate faster from 03 to 04. With 04, there's actually a bit more work outside of Ocean Point that needs to be done. Prepping up the real estate assets, with Daniel working on the risk assessment framework, which, by the way, I saw it. You haven't, Makram, but you should look, take half an hour with Daniel and look through it. It's it's amazing stuff. The data that we get out of it, and that's I think what's taking a bit longer. And on the other side is as well this centralized exchange listing kind of delaying things a bit for version 04. So we're pushing it forward just a bit with it. But this listing, I think, from like a takeaway would be, okay, that we mean business. I think because we really kind of show the commitment of investing in the future now, and we are acting upon recent success with delivering what the community kind of asked us to deliver for quite some time. We had, as in the governance board, we had several options available to consider, and we, I believe, chose the best one on the table at the current moment, and I hope everybody enjoys this listing and what's yet to come.
Perfect. So much happening, guys. But you need to wait for next week to see more. Next week, hopefully, we'll have a guest with us, and you will have an exciting block chat. Again, join our community as well as join Fibre's community. Be part of our energy, and hopefully, it will be rewarding for you. Connect with us if you would like to run your marketplace. If you're a broker in your own market, feel free to connect with Blocksquare, and I'm sure you will find something that's pretty interesting for you so that you can tackle the future of what your business will look like. Denis, any last words to our community?
No, that's it.
Enjoy your evening. Another block chat with Denis Petrovcic and Makram Hani. Have a good time.